Hello and welcome to Tarikia. This is Dresden's Tale, episode 44, chapter 42 of volume 2. This is the show where we follow Dresden Fane, stubborn, grumpy, a lone wolf who always runs with a pack. Our story exists in the violence of the Keld culture, a fierce landscape where might makes right, no matter the cost. I'm your guide through this war-fevered land, Lewis Nichols. Well, it happened, and you better enjoy it while you can. Ralph is back, the pterodon with an appetite for bugs, mice, and friendly insults. And he's not alone, not even close. Karen's here. We haven't gotten to spend much time with this average everyday Pat, but we know she's no Karen. It's a little crazy how fast that name became a label in the internet-driven world. Well, suck it, Internet. Dresden doesn't waste his days watching shorts, and I'm not changing my characters' names. She was here first. Now, if one of these guys did waste his days on Facebook, it would be our priest of Renia, Donald the Aquirta. Our four-legged friend is back. As Kelds go, he's a lover of peace, but don't tell that to the enemy. They won't believe you. And that leaves beautiful Liz. If you're into strongly built women with horns, she might be the lady for you. She's where beauty meets brawn, more than content to beat things up and sort out the details later. And before all you Karens get in a tangle over continuity, don't worry about it. Parncilia is only 50,000 strong. That the surviving active noobs of 2051 have met isn't surprising at all. Sure didn't surprise me. Probably surprised Dresden. Main characters always seem to think the world revolves around them. Speaking of continuity, our travelers have some explaining to do, so let's get to it. Ebba's taking his time. It's his 15th day, 2052 years after the fall. So, you're married now? Dresden asked his friend as they walked along the northbound road. He had a better idea of where he was again. Privately, he blamed Sophia for getting them so far inland. Out loud, he blamed Orn. Dresden should have known better. They hadn't seen the river for a while, and there were others in the group complaining. Karen shrugged. I'm Mayor Woodsteel's second wife, so it's really not a big deal. He's the house's head guard. Pretty good weaponsmith and member of the Silver Sickles paramilitia. Ralph laughed. And when she had a chance to go north, she jumped all over it. When I get back, I'll have his baby. He's already got 3 kids. Pretty adorable, really. Win for us, Dresden told her. He's the one missing out. Yes, he is. And so am I. But it's too hot, so why do you only flirt with me when it's too hot to fuck? Dresden's breath caught. I wasn't flirting. I wasn't. You're married. So? They walked along in the dank humidity of the crowded road. Trees with thick leaves lined the way. It was lousy for sightlines, but somebody said you could harvest them for clean water. He tried it earlier, but an old Seville snatched the leaf out of his hand and chastised him for stealing the Campbell property. Dresden was full of nervous energy. He wanted to walk faster, to get away. Perhaps he could hide in the violence of war. Anything would be a relief from the memories that chased him. Dresden! Karen tried to get his attention as their surroundings began to change. Orn shook his head. Oblivious. They were coming into a small city. Shops and fancy houses lined the river. Another 100 or more modest homes followed the 3 roads farther up from the waterway. Most had large gardens or small pens of egg lizards and goats. Dresden growled. It was obvious something was happening ahead. You'll hold here for a week, somebody in dressed-up armor and with a powerful voice called out to the crowd. Campbell warriors contained travelers both from the road and from the busy dock. There's no fast passage to Camberg. While you are here, you will work. See these men under the banner for instructions. You will hold here for a week, he began again. What stupid shit is this? Dresden muttered and headed for the banners. Get him, Dresden, Ralph urged him on. There he goes, our hero, Donald snorted. The dwarf could barely wait his turn. The instant he was acknowledged by one of the masked executors, he let loose. You can't hold us here. We've been called to war. Ah, I didn't call you, stoner. What's your name? Dresden Fane of the House Nanok. We're on our way to fight Iterians. You can't... And you're here with those over there? What are their names? Before I tell you anything, their names, please. I can pass you up to one of the officers to argue your case, but I can't do that without names. The dwarf complied. The executor put it all down in his journal, then set it aside. You will collect shovels and picks from the supply depot under the tower there. There is... Hey, wait a minute. You said... I lied. You may challenge me if you wish. Frankly, if you best me, you have a real case for being rushed forward. But I have a lot of victories to my name, including battles against armored trolls. Yeah, so you better think about it. And until you do, you will be fed, quartered, and you will do work. There is no fast passage to Vool. Yeah, they're backed up at the gate, and we have need of you. Dresden growled. You can't... I can't make you? I suppose you could slip off in the night, but unless you thought to give me fake names, I promise none of you will ever pass the gates if you do. On the other hand, we will issue you letters of service for the work you do and pass out whatever equipment we have to offer such brave warriors. Yeah, off to war. Yeah, go tell your friends. I don't have time to go through this with everybody. Ralph squawked. I kind of liked that guy. He shut you down flat. I never should have got off the boat, Dresden muttered. An hour later, they were in a high-walled ditch, hacking away at clumps of clay and stone. You always get us in the most inventive predicaments, Ralph complained. Every time, Karen agreed. They can't keep us here forever. Dresden worked at a furious pace. He said a week, right? Donald always felt the best way to handle hyperbole was with a simple correction. It was physical work, a labor of sweat and toil. I'm sorry for what happened, you know, Karen told Dresden when they took their first break. She offered him water, but he barely acknowledged her. I've never really been in love like that before. I guess we're all running. I lost somebody. I'm not running, Horn spoke up. Not now, Ralph stopped him. They're trying to have a moment. Dresden pushed his spade in the muck. What are you running from? I'm not ready to be a wife, and certainly not a mother. When the militia was called together, I jumped on it. I never did ask about that. Why aren't you all with them? She shrugged. It was political. I don't really understand it all. Donald tried to explain. The Cathinder faction basically controls the militia of Biona, and they're demanding an end to the exile. They want to be led by Mott. I kind of see their point to an extent, especially since his sister is governor of the clan possessions there. It's dumb, Liz snorted. I didn't think I was going to get to fight this season. He's a traitor. That's the only point to be made. He spoke against the first chief. Oh, shit, it's Quester's Day, Dresden realized. Not here. I'm not sure when the Campbells celebrate their founders, Donald went on. Oh, all right, whatever. But if the militia didn't come, why are you here? To fight, dummy, Liz told him. Okay, not why. How? Karen glanced at Donald, and they shrugged. Oh, they're coming. We're just not officially on the rolls, per se. We decided to come anyway. When they left, so did we. Just sort of slipped out with them. And she had permission from her master, Ralph squawked. Me, not so much. I'm probably not going back to Parnasilia. Dresden sighed. I didn't really ask either, so I guess I can't criticize. Now, let's get back to work. At least maybe we can get our names listed as contributors. A sack of silver for the masters will be better than nothing. It's a canal. Donald pointed out in a sudden fit of realization. It had taken an hour after their last conversation. What did you think it was? Karen stared. We're in a hole 20 feet deep and 40 feet across. Of course it's a canal. It could have been a portage, he pointed out. But I heard some of them talking about it. Those mountains there, they're rich in lumber, quarries, and coal. That's why this little town is so prosperous. They're building this so they can move their goods straight up into the river. And that's how the rich stay rich, Ralph complained. It's the chief's wealth, not the town's. The only real wealth is your own strength. Fight for the empire. If you live, you'll have everything you could possibly want. Live in a big house without glory and watch it all crumble around you. Very eloquent, Dresden. Donald sounded impressed. Well, not my words. I read them somewhere. Inspired by Jasmine. But why not a big house and then just take care of it? Ralph pondered. The Aquirta snorted. Someday you'll understand. Quit running away from your trouble and make a stand, or you'll be lucky with a shack. Ooh, what a mess they are digging themselves into. Digging themselves into. A pun upon a glorious pun. Stuck working for another clan, joining a war without a permit, hiding from horny husbands in sweaty jungles. Meanwhile, poor Orrin can barely get noticed anymore. Have you ever been in that situation? You find your friend has a lot of other friends and suddenly you're the one watching the fun? That's never happened to me. That's a whole episode with the full crew, guys. Can we go for a second? Is it permanent? Do you dare to hope? Of course not. But it's pretty cool to have everybody around for a while. I'm glad you were around. You didn't have to listen, but you did, and I appreciate it. Do that stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. I'm Lewis Nichols, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day.